Beautiful morning here, and we can see the moon in Engelberg just rising. It seems today is going to be a sunny day, and here the Engelberg town still in the early hours of the day. It's 7:30 a.m. and hopefully today we're going to go for a walk and show you the surroundings. But this moon is really impressive, the sunrise. So it's 9 o'clock in the morning and I just left my hotel. It's a very beautiful hotel right behind my back here. It's called the Hotel Benedictine. It's a bit far away from, further away, not far away from the city center. But we can see here Engelberg in really in the valley. So here the hotel was a bit put on at the foot of the hill, and I was very pleased with it. It's actually a 4-star hotel, but it has this very typical Swiss mountain style of lodge, and I was actually also quite pleased with the price that I paid. It's 140 bucks per night, 150 bucks, something around that, and I booked it on Booking because that's always what I use, so I can stack these discounts that I get for my frequent traveler status. And it was a very nice cozy atmosphere with these Christmas decorations, so I felt really good. It was very warm inside, like all this wooden interior decoration. The walls were wooden, so very pleasant. And now I'm going for a walk and I have to check out my room at 11, so I'm going to be back at the hotel, and we're going to show you around here a few nice spots in Engelberg, and then we'll see. So right here, the panorama of Engelberg, and we can hear the church bells of the Engelberg monastery to my right. A very old Benedictine monastery, more than 900 years old, which we're gonna visit. But I'm gonna go there a bit later during the day when the light will be will be more favorable, will be shining on the church. And here it's still like a very cold, like this alpine atmosphere. Of course, we're in the middle of December. Yesterday it wasn't so cold, maybe like -2, -3 degrees in the shadow and a bit more in the sun. Of course, all the way up, if you go all the way up to Titlis, which we see there, 3,000 meters, probably is going to be -15 degrees. So we're just going to walk next to this river towards the city center of Engelberg. So one nice thing I wanted to show is this network of pink marked trails. These are specific winter trails that you can go and hike during winter. Of course, during winter you cannot just walk on a normal hiking trail because of the snow. I mean, it can be like 2 meters deep. So everything that we're seeing here is accessible in winter. Of course, you have to wear winter shoes like mine here, like these Sorel boots, and then you can see these signs here. So everything that's marked in pink, you can just hike safely also in winter, provided you have good snowshoes. For some of them it would be preferable to have also this kind of like tennis racket accessories for your shoes. I don't know exactly how they're called, but even without them, if you have good snowshoes, you can definitely walk. As you see, this trail was already prepared, so we're gonna head down it. So Engelberg is a very interesting resort because it's a mix of really a holiday destination, but it's also a city in itself. So being also close to Lucerne and very well served by the road network, there's a highway actually coming maybe like 20 kilometers close to Engelberg, and then you just have to take a mountain road to get up at this altitude, which is probably 1,300 meters. Of course, many people from Lucerne come here just for the weekend, or some of them can just come for a day of skiing and then go back in the evening, and that makes it a bit crowded and not necessarily having this atmosphere of of a resort like the ones in the southern Switzerland, which are much more remote and disconnected from the road network or from the major cities. So here it's a bit of this mixed atmosphere. There are still some places like the hotel where I stayed, which are very cozy and remote and really give you this alpine atmosphere. But I mean, as you can see there on the main road, there was also like a big truck going now, so there's also this part. So for that I'm not really the biggest fan, but of course I really appreciate the convenience, because I was able to reach this winter paradise in less than 1.5 hours from my home in Zug, and it was a very convenient train ride, and of course that is definitely a difference from the rest of the mountain resorts in the southern Swiss Alps, which require at least 3 hours commute from the main cities in the north part of Switzerland. So I also wanted to show here, there's this cross-country Nordic skiing slope. As you can see, it's very well groomed and prepared. There's also the snow cannons, but given the big snowfalls this month, they're not needed. It's a sport that's actually very popular here. Every respectable resort has such a cross-country skiing slope, and this one is not so long, maybe like 5 kilometers, and well, there's a cross-country skier there that just fell. So it seems it's not as easy as it looks. And here this beautiful panorama of the Brunistock and the monastery of Engelberg, Engelberg Kloster. So this right here is the main train station of Engelberg. It's built in this 70s brutalist style actually. A lot of the buildings here in Engelberg follow this architectural style. There was a boom of this type of urban development around the 70s and 80s. But this Engelberg train is a very convenient way to reach Engelberg from Luzern. And I'm just gonna go through the train station and show you guys. There's like these low gauge lines that just serve. This is a terminus station, so they just serve Engelberg, and they come, I think, every half an hour from Luzern. And there's these like 2 lines here. Super convenient way to reach and comfortable. And always here there's some funny trains being parked, especially for this removing of the utility vehicles, for removing snow or all kinds of stuff, like this one, this locomotive here. So this is how the train station terminus Engelberg looks like. And of course we can see here the famous Swiss clock, and as you can see, like on the hour, it waits for 2 seconds there, during which times it synchronizes the second hand. It synchronizes over the electric system with all the other clocks in the Swiss network. So all these clocks are synchronized using a very old school style of system, not this modern NTP network time protocol, but rather an electrical signaling mechanism. So since it's still super early, because the sun rises here a bit later, because it has to rise above these mountains, my ears are freezing. So I'm gonna go to this beautiful old house which hosts a tea room. That's actually how it's called. It's even called the tea room Engelberg. Of course, like a very beautiful architecture. And here you can have this breakfast in this traditional like 19th century style teapots. It's a very beautiful part. There's not really an old town here in Engelberg except the monastery, which is the oldest building here. There's a few older buildings like this one, but not older than maybe 150 years. So here we're heading towards the Kloster Engelberg, and I'm gonna try to show you guys the inside of the church of this Benedictine monastery. The Benedictine monastery here is actually a complex of many buildings, including a school. There's also like a wood factory. There's of course accommodation for the monks and nuns that live here. To be honest, I don't know if this is just a nun or monk monastery, something that I should inform myself. But it's a very, very big complex, and it also, of course, fulfilled the role of scholarly complex throughout the Middle Ages. So it's also has a very big library. It's very very important center. Wow, it was a very, very impressive church interior with all these frescoes, and the scale was absolutely huge. I'm sure that the video doesn't manage to capture the emotion that you feel when entering such a place. And of course, I kept silent in form of respect. But at the entrance, I read actually the legend that tells about the founding of this monastery, and apparently knight from the region of Zurich, who was quite wealthy, had the vision that in his sleep that he has to found a monastery uh, towards the central Switzerland. So he came on the shores of Lake Luzern and started building, and whatever he was building during the night um, used to be destroyed during what he was building during the day used to be destroyed at night time. The legend says that an angel was actually destroying what he was trying to build, and he prayed, and in his sleep the Virgin Mary told him that he should actually follow his ox to find a proper place where he should found the monastery that he was trying to ground. And so then he listened to this advice and took his ox and let the ox guide him towards the place where this monastery is now located. And the ox kept going and going, and the mountain valley became steeper and steeper and closer to the heart of the mountains. And at some point where we are sitting right now, the ox stopped and he did not want to move further, and that was the sign that he should ground and start building the monastery here. This is a very, very remote, as you can see, region, just surrounded by mountains all around, very imposing and tall mountains, at least 3,000 meters high. And you can imagine, like 1,000 years ago, how remote this this region would have been. So as you can see, here's the interior court of this monastery, and there's even a sign there where these people are going. Arzt, that means doctor, so probably there's also now medical services offered by this congregation, which isn't surprising because churches like this one is a Catholic order, definitely are very much engaged also into social and benefactoring, philanthropic activities. We will go towards this part where a library and a souvenir shop is hosted, and from this perspective we can see the main complex, monastic complex, with the tall Bruni peak behind. So what is very interesting actually about this monastery is that it also encompasses a school, and we can see here Stiftsschule Engelberg, which would mean the school of the foundation Engelberg. We see these two kids here. I don't know if they went to school, but this is how generally kids go around here with these mountain bikes with very fat wheels. So it's somehow almost like an image from a movie. These two kids here just on a Monday morning, maybe skipping classes, even though I don't hear many kids' voices here. Not sure if there is already the Christmas holiday. Christmas is going to be, of course, next week, so we're getting close. Probably this week is still a working week for us at work, definitely, even though I took a day off. But I assume also for schools it's still working. So here it's beautiful gates, and as we see a lot of cars parked here, so definitely there's activity. Another very nice spot, which I also tried to capture yesterday after my day of skiing, is this little mountain river flowing. Of course, you know, like here you can get mineral water right from the source, so this water is extremely tasty, clean, and it's just flowing here quietly through this village, everything covered in snow. This is the kind of water that you know, you'll be buying on the supermarket shelves for $2 half a liter. Here you can just come and drink it. Of course, tap water is super delicious here. So I checked out my room. It's 11 o'clock, and I just left all my stuff in a ski room here. You know, like you can just leave stuff even if it's valuable. Like there's nothing to worry about. Like the, so to say, skiing community is a high trust community. And I'm heading now towards the base station of Titlis. Yesterday when I went there, I was unpleasantly surprised by the introduction of dynamic prices for ski passes, which is something obviously not working towards the interest of the customer, but rather to the interest of the operator, because in this way they can just profit from increased demand and raise the prices. And since there's always these peaks of demand caused by these tourist groups that are coming, as a skier you're always at a disadvantage, because you can only end up paying more nevertheless. Probably today, because it's Monday, I expect a bit less crowds, so I'm going to go and check it out. I looked online, and the price for a one-day ticket today was 58, which is a reasonable price for a ski resort of the size of Titlis. You cannot really ski for less than $50 a day in any of the resorts in Switzerland. Maybe just the really small ones. Even this one below the other side of Engelberg, which is called Bruni, costs about like 55 per day. During the week, of course, it can be a bit less. Generally, dynamic pricing is something new. Normally it used to be just weekend price or day price, or not even that, like a flat rate. The top ski resorts in Switzerland, you can expect to pay 90, 85, 90, 95 for some of them, including Zermatt, and the ones in Graubünden like St. Moritz and Celerina, which are considered more luxury than sports resorts. I'm not a really big fan of these luxury mountain resorts. I would consider Engelberg to be more sports oriented, but with this inclusion in the tourist let's say circuit, it changed a bit of profile. Here actually, right behind us, it's one of the biggest ski schools in Switzerland. A school where many of the Olympic and world champions have been trained. So this runs across the year. Here you can have also glacier skiing. I was looking at their advertising, and I saw, you know, like Marc Odermatt, for instance, and Michel Giesin. All of them are Olympic and world champions. So they are actually students of this school. So we're gonna go and visit later in the afternoon, and I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about. So here, an absolutely intimidating ski jump slope, the Engelberg one, very tall, and obviously this bobcat here, this piston bully, how we call it in Switzerland, preparing it for the upcoming winter season. This weekend there was actually a ski jump competition, but not hosted in Switzerland, but due to the activity here, it seems that we're gonna have an event, probably a World Cup event, in a few weeks here. Everything is being prepared now, which means we're to expect something, some event quite soon. So here we're arriving at the base station of the Titlis cable car. As you can see, like a big parking lot, and like a lot of, it's almost like it's bigger than the train station if you think about it, that I showed earlier in the video. It always gives me these vibes of airport terminal whenever I'm coming to this tourist destinations, mountain destinations in Switzerland. I'm really not a big fan of this. I don't like it at all. It kept expanding. For almost 10 years I've been coming here skiing, but I gave up maybe 5 years ago, and now I'm generally skiing in the southern Switzerland, in Wallis, in Saas-Fee, or Saasgrund, which is a much more peaceful resort. And you can see here like a lot of tour buses here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can imagine if each of them has 50 people, 500 people just coming here. So here I am in the Titlis gondola. Actually, I was wrong about the prices. They're much more expensive. They're 85 instead of 48. The 48 ticket that I managed to get is just a one-way ticket to the top and the bottom, so it's not a day ski pass. And it's also including the reduction for people who actually have the Swiss General Abonnement, GEA, we call it. That means the abonnement, the yearly pass that allows you to take any public transportation in Switzerland. So that usually brings you a big discount to any such mountain cable cars. So I think like 48 is the cheapest price that you can get in order to get to reach the Titlis 3000 meter station. So I just took that one because I don't have any skis, and it's a bit complicated there to walk, especially with so much snow between intermediate stations. So I'm just gonna walk around there at the top. There's a few things to see there. There's a suspension bridge, which is very impressive. There's a panorama of the entire central Switzerland, so I'm gonna show you once we get there. And as we see, like, sun starts to shine now. The one big downside of the Titlis ski resort, for those interested in having maybe weekend or a holiday of skiing here, is that it's on the north face of the Alps. That means it's always very cold. That also guarantees snow, so that's the upside. But the other side of the mountain behind my back, which is the Bruni ski resort, is always sunnier. It can suffer from lack of snow. If the sun shines like today, you can imagine it gets quite warm. But I very much prefer snowing under the sun rather than in this like windy north face conditions that we're gonna see here. So it's a big difference. So I arrived here at Stand, which is the second intermediate station on my way to Titlis. We're at 2,500 meters. It's not as cold as I was expecting. So Titlis is right over there. It's the last part of the ride, and it's the most difficult. You cannot do it with the gondola, and you have to take a rotating cable car, world famous one, the Titlis Roter, because it just has to cross a valley full of glaciers and crevasses, and like there's really no way to build a gondola here. So this is right behind my back here. People are waiting over there, and I'm gonna shortly switch the camera because here's like a huge valley full of crevasses and untouched snow. So let me show you that. It's a very impressive and massive valley in these glaciers here and steep rocks. You can see there are some traces there of skiers and snowboarders. It's a bit crazy to go snowboarding and skiing here. I myself have once or twice did some off-piste snowboarding here. I wouldn't dare to do skiing because the snow can be like 7-8 meters deep here, and you know, like a mistake, you just then get stuck and they find you. The next you know, like melting of the glaciers maybe in 1,000 years. So it sometimes happens now, and they find remnants of lost tourists after years, so it's really a dangerous extreme sport. I wouldn't do it anymore. Um, of course, I try to take when I go off piste, not really fresh snow, but uh, places where I already see traces, and especially like more traces, because that gives me a bit more confidence. But in the last years, I really am avoiding any such extreme sports, because I also reached a certain age, and I start valuing a bit my health more than the adrenaline that it gives me. So here we see the Rotter coming. Just wanted to show you also this black slow part. It's actually right now left to be off piste. Sometimes it's set up as a mogul ride. As you see, already there's many traces here. So this is the one of the descents from the Titlis 3000 meter station all the way here to 2500 meters. And here again a panorama with this middle stand station. Of course, this crane robbing all the coziness of the and intimacy of this landscape, but hopefully it will be gone soon. It's definitely something temporary. So here we are boarding the Mount Titlis. As you can see, this skier in front of me has this very wide off-piste skiing. He also has a backpack with the sign mountain guide. Only a very experienced skier. So let's go inside the hotel. So here we are, almost at 3000 meters on the Titlis top station. Actually, the peak Titlis is the one over there, which we're gonna go on a short hike. And we just arrived here. The cable car was full of tourists, mostly from Asia. And here we can have this impressive panorama right to my back of the central Swiss Alps glaciers, and of course the whole chain of central Swiss Alps. There's many valleys here right behind us. It's actually the source of the Rhone River, one of the biggest rivers in Europe, and I haven't seen this in some time, and based on what I'm seeing here a bit, indeed the glaciers have reduced the size in the past 5 years. Used to be a bit more. You can recognize the glaciers by this bluish turquoise green tint that they have. Now it's a bit more stone exposed. That means the glaciers have reduced. An unfortunate thing, it's a bit warmer than I expected. I mean, normally when you come here, there were times when I came here and it was minus 30 degrees. I think right now it's probably minus 5, minus 7. You see, I don't wear any hat, so it's still not freezing. It's still December. In January it's probably the coldest period, January and February. And here on the other side we see towards Engelberg, so I'm gonna walk there and show you around. So let's head towards the weather station here on Titlis, and we will also have the suspended bridge over there. It's really unusually pleasant to walk now on this sunny day. Yesterday it was freezing cold also in Engelberg, so I postponed coming here for today because I looked at the weather forecast, and today and tomorrow is gonna be sunny. So this is the plateau in here, the panorama of the North Switzerland plateau. The Titlis station here, it's a 5-story building. It's not a hotel. It has souvenir shops, 2 stories of watch shops, just very commercial generally, which is something I completely dislike. And down there we see this construction site for a secondary cable car line, bringing people up from Engelberg to Titlis. I think that I completely think it's unnecessary. It's just a form of, in my opinion, raping Mother Nature for some very little profits. I mean, you know, like you're selling a few watches and getting, you know, like a few $1 million, but the cost that you're imposing on nature is very, very big. Here we have the beautiful suspension bridge over the glacial valley. This valley, of course, being very very unwelcoming, hasn't been transformed into a ski destination. And here there's this region where the Rhone River, as I said, flows, and there's actually a circuit of three famous very mountain passes: the Furka Pass, the Grimsel Pass, and the Suchten Pass, that traverse over sides this very uninhospitable and uninhabitable region of Switzerland, one of the last valleys that remained untouched by human hand. To my point that somehow I am complaining about this extreme constructions that's happening also in the Alps. Switzerland is occupied 60% by mountainous regions, and because of that, and being a very small country, there's really a big lack of space, and people are trying to, you know, like reclaim and do business in what they have as land. I mean, also real estate is very expensive here, so there's an explanation to why there's this massive move now towards urbanizing and building also in the alpine areas. Of course, me as a nature lover, I'm completely against this, even though maybe I also did my share, my contribution by for instance owning for some time holiday property in the Alps, which I gave up on now. But there's definitely demand of urbanizing also these more remote regions. There's also some crazy plans, for instance, like building solar farms on alpine valleys. That would be just completely insane. I mean, this green insanity took over also Switzerland, and you know, a lot of very nature unfriendly projects in the field of solar energy and wind energy are being promoted and being sold to more so to say poorer communities here in the mountains that are obviously happy to accept them for some minor financial benefit that it brings to them. So here I am on my way down from Titlis to Engelberg. I stopped at the intermediate station, the first intermediate station, and as I was telling you guys, there are two intermediate stations from Titlis all the way down to Engelberg. So this one is called Trübsee. That means it's let's say Trüb means when something is not clear, and that See is the German name for a lake. So there's also a lake here. Right now it's obviously frozen, and right behind me there's Engelberg, and I'm gonna go slowly through the forest, and I think I'm gonna just go all the way down to Engelberg. I'm quite well equipped, and from here the way down is very pleasant, and it shouldn't be as extreme as the glacial valleys up. So here down I also see this type of snow tire racing and piste, which obviously it's a lot of fun. Many people don't really appreciate how fun sledging is, and here in Engelberg you can really find very long sledging trails, like 3, 4, 5, 6 kilometers long, and taking you through scenic routes, some of them really dangerous if you don't have experience and are not well equipped. You can go really fast on a sledge, and it's a fun activity to do if you're together with someone. You can get a double sledge and then just ride down the hill. I really love to do this with my wife. It's a lot of fun. So here I would like to show you something really breathtaking. Is the surface of this alpine glacial lake, perfectly covered in snow without any trace on it. It's just like almost like an optical illusion. So one of the things that you start appreciating after you know, like doing a lot of winter sports like skiing and snowboarding is the other types of winter activities, especially these winter hikes that you can do in the Alps. to me, this is the formula of the best type of, let's say, skiing holiday, where during a week you might go like 2-3 times to ski, and then in the days in between enjoy the other attractions that you can do. So exactly like I'm doing today, I really enjoy this, even maybe more than skiing, because you're somehow really managing to disconnect yourself and get to appreciate the nature at a slower pace. I mean, when you're skiing, like, everything moves so fast and you're just like moving from one cable car to another, and somehow you don't even get to appreciate, for instance, this type of beauty that you're surrounded. And also this, how we call it, the hinterland, which means the back country, where you really find a completely different, more secluded atmosphere. It's something definitely worth trying. So if you come skiing here, just don't plan of spending each and every day on the slopes, but rather also explore the nature and explore these other activities like cross-country skiing, or maybe sledging, as I mentioned before, and most of all hiking. So to the topic I was mentioning before about other activities that are very pleasant to do and budget friendly. I mean, for instance, this snowshoe hiking is completely for free. There's no need to pay entrance for any of these trails. They're completely open to the public. But another one, if you're also into skiing, is to do this backcountry skiing, where you just take your skis and climb up the mountain, and you know, like, you mix half of the day with the ascent, and then you just descend, and you can descend over also non-slope area. So that's a very nice thing to do. I'm yet to start doing that sport, but I see it becoming more and more popular. So you can always see these hikers climbing up this winter hiking trails with their skis on, and they're using this type of telemark bindings, and then you can just ride down, and it's something very, very special. It's far away, more secluded from these crowds, and also it's for free. And since I was showing you just before this beautiful couple, elderly couple, enjoying the panorama, I wanted to say how much skiing and winter sports are part of the Swiss culture. So kids generally start learning skiing at about 2.5 years old, and that's not an exception, that's almost the rule. I mean, there's always, when you go to such a ski resort at the base of the mountain, you're always gonna see these like huge groups of toddlers, like really small, going like as a snake, you know, they go in groups and learning how to ski. I also want to bring my niece here to teach her how to ski, so they use some special techniques for teaching such young kids to ski. And then this becomes also sort of a school activity. So you have, as I mentioned before, this yearly skiing holiday in January, and it becomes a lifelong activity. I remember once I was here in Engelberg, maybe like 7-8 years ago, with an elderly lady and a couple of tourists from India, I believe, and they asked her for how long is she practicing this sport, the skiing. She had her skis on, and she just laughed and said more than 70 years. So you can imagine, it's not something uncommon. You will always see, especially during the weaker elderly people here in the cable car. Something really amazing and worth appreciating. So as you guys see me walking here all alone in the middle of the nature, you might be wondering if there is any dangerous wildlife in Switzerland, and the short answer to that is no. The longer answer is there used to be bears, there used to be wolves, but they all have been killed. The beginning actually of the last century, they were producing a lot of damage for the local farmers, since there are many farms here, cow farms, sheep farms, goat farms. Of course, you didn't want to have the farmers didn't want to have wolves around, and since Switzerland is such a small country, generally they just took the approach of killing all of them. Of course, you know, like that's convenient if you're a wanderer like me, if you like going to nature on hikes, you don't have to worry. Sometimes I do carry some bear spray with me. It's not really needed. I mean, sometimes you can have I was once attacked by a pack of dogs, like of shepherd dogs, so for such events there rarely are bear sightings here. Mostly bears coming from northern Italy, but nothing compared to Canada, Russia or Romania, where, you know, like you really have to watch where you're going because there's bears everywhere. Wolves are a bit more common, but also not really common, and not at all in the central region. If anything, in the southern Switzerland, where there are more remote resorts. So to this topic that I touched on of wildlife, maybe I made it sound a bit harsher than it really is. There is a lot of wildlife, not this really big and dangerous one. Of course, you can see goats, mountain goats, you can see hedgehogs, you can see foxes, you can see this marmotte, you can see wild rabbits. So there's a lot of wildlife that you can admire and appreciate. It's actually very, very nice. Even these goats, you know, like sometimes depending on how wild they are, they can start harassing you. So once, for instance, I remember I was hiking in Vallis, and one of these mountain goats just kept chasing me and harassing me, and like just slamming his head on my back. And you know, like I just didn't know how to get rid of him, because I didn't want to like start fighting with him, because he still had these like two horns. So I just tried not to pay attention to him, and he kept like pushing on my back and hitting my my ass. So it's also, you know, like they're wild animals. So here, for instance, just mountains and mountains of unending snow. And since it's already getting late, you can see the sun there only covering the peaks of Bruni. It's getting a bit cold, so I have to keep marching here. I think I still have a 1 hour descent to go, and I hope it won't get any more complicated than this. Right now the snow is okay, it's still hard, so I'm not going down it, and we'll see. So from here on, from this valley, we're at 1,200 meters, and we have to reach Engelberg, which is at 1,000 meter altitude. So I'm just gonna calmly follow the trail markings. Apparently they take me through that snow, so I'm just gonna walk here through the groomed snow. It's gonna be a bit easier for me. I see no skiers here. It seems that this area is still closed, even though it's very well prepared. And hopefully soon we will reach Engelberg. So as I was walking towards the direction and following the winter trail, I realized that I'm getting actually farther away from the road, the forest road that comes to this place from Engelberg, and there's a risk that I would reach a point where there's really no way for me to go down if the last cable car isn't working. And I know for a fact that on Friday it wasn't working, so I'm just gonna play it safe and take the known road. The known road is always the shortest, and the known road is just following the ski trail that takes you down to the village. So it might be a bit unpleasant walking next to the ski slope, because at times it can be quite steep, but I'm just gonna take that Talabfahrt, how we are calling it, and I'm gonna be shortly down. And here we are coming on the descent towards Engelberg. We almost reached the base station. It was a very nice hike. My mountain adventure is coming close to an end. It was actually a very wise idea that I took the ski slope instead of marching on through that winter hiking trail. I reached now downtown Engelberg, and I'm going to go treat myself with a burger at this very fine hotel here next to me. It's the Kempinski Hotel. It's a 5-star hotel. But you can get a very nice burger with 30 bucks, which compared to the 20 bucks that would cost you at a regular McDonald's is definitely worth it, and it's a very nice experience. So I hope you guys enjoyed this this day, and hope to see you soon. I'm planning to make another video next week in the south of Switzerland, where I'm going for my Christmas holidays. But for now, I'm gonna leave you with that. I'm not gonna film inside the hotel, and yeah, it was a pleasure to go on this mountain adventure together with you, and see you soon.